take my mind.
Welcome to another episode, Change Tomorrow Today, hottest podcast in the world.
Yeah, man, we the hottest podcast in the world, for real, for real. And today we got a special guest. We got my player partner, man, Jacob, man. What's happening, man?
How y'all doing? My name is Jackson Jacob.
Okay.
You're 2024. Renaissance man, just everyday man,
You got to get the year just to be
Hey,
sure.
2024 Renaissance.
Renaissance, man. Hey, I like that, though.
Yeah.
So
like
today
that.
we're gonna have a great episode for you guys. We're gonna be talking about parenthood, right? Parenthood, how it was when you had your first child, right? And how did it change you? So we're not talking about currently today, right now. We're talking about when it happened. Because, sometimes when you have a child, it can mature you. It can help you to become more responsible. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It changes you in different ways. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. So, let's take off, man. You know what I mean? So what's up, man? I know you had your first child back in what, high school?
Shit, high school. I was 17 years old, man.
Fast.
What?
Goddamn.
Man, hey, I remember when I found out, man. When
You were 17?
I was 17.
Damn.
I didn't know what I was going to do, man. And I remember it was after a football game. We won the game.
You wasn't excited? That was
no.
supposed to be an excitement
Man,
announcement.
He's 17.
She played
I was
that
17.
shit.
17. He's
He
scared.
gonna
You
be
scared.
mad.
You scared.
I'm
Okay,
scared.
well, did y'all win y'all game?
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I'm talking about she was playing that shit.
Right. We won the
I'm gonna
game.
keep his high
So-
going.
So the mother of my child, she came to pick me up, you know what I'm saying, after the game. So I'm looking at her and I'm like, damn, why she's looking like that? She had like the sad face.
Oh.
And I'm like, what's up? She was like, I'm pregnant. I was like,
Oh wait,
holy-
that's how she dropped the bomb.
that's
too?
how she dropped the
God.
bomb
The
on me.
crazy part is I was on that team. I didn't even know.
I know, right?
You was in a team?
yeah, he was on the
I was on the
yeah,
team.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't
It's
know.
like this is my first time hearing about
What, no Miami?
I'm like,
No,
NB.
NB.
But 17, you was in
Yeah.
North Miami, man.
Remember, I transferred in the middle of the year.
yeah.
Damn, dog.
No, man, we went to North Miami together, man. You
came
and
from NMB.
you
But I
didn't have
can't-
the child yet, bro. When I was in North Miami with you, bro, we was all together, man. You didn't have no
Yeah,
kids
you
yet.
could be- You may be right.
Yeah, it wasn't the same
Okay.
team.
Well,
Come on, man. Come
you may
on.
be right.
At
Bro,
that point, he
come
was
on,
in
dog.
I was
Miami.
22
Listen, it was a
years
long
ago.
time
Yeah,
ago.
I was 22
No, but I'm
years ago.
saying in North Miami we were together. Remember, we left NB. All of us left
Right,
NB
right,
together.
right.
So you ain't had no child when we was in.
But
But he
peep
said
this,
she
though.
was pregnant.
She was
No.
pregnant.
Because
Okay. Oh, Ralph, let him tell his story.
All right.
Yeah, but peep this,
All right.
right?
So we were on the same team, but then he went to North Miami.
There you go.
Right.
Boom.
So
There you go.
there you
that's
go.
when it happened.
Right, but peep this though, bro. So when I found out, I was shitting in my pants. I was like, damn, how I'm gonna break this news down to my mother? Matter of fact, I didn't even tell my mom or whatever. So I'm plotting, I'm thinking like, dang, what am I gonna tell my OG? Then finally, I broke the news down to my mother. And of course, I thought she was gonna be pissed off. She wasn't mad. So when she broke the news to my father kept on, he was like my mom. He was like, oh, what
Went
you gonna
crazy.
do? He was acting
Yeah.
crazy. And my mom was like, well, at least we know he's straight. That's what my mom said. She said, at least we know he's
Well,
straight.
got a point.
But how was it for you though when you
Man,
went?
it
I'm
was-
saying, like, how did it help you? Like,
It was life changing, because I played football. I was being recruited, so
Damn.
I thought it was going to destroy my life. My coach actually jacked me up in the classroom when he found out. He was like, dang, son, you going to throw away your career like that? But, thankfully, I thank God my mom and my mom and my dad, they came through and they looked out for me to make sure that I continue, on my journey of playing football. But it did impact my life a lot because I started heading towards the wrong direction. But then when the mother of my child, when she broke the news to me, I wanted to be better. You know what
So
I'm saying?
mentally, it kind of set in. For
Yeah,
you.
it set in for me. I love my pops, but of course my pops was absent. So I used to always say to myself, I'm gonna be a better father than what my father was ever to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I take parenting very seriously, man.
yeah.
Seriously. Right, and to see my princess now, she's 22 years old and she'll be graduating in
Crazy.
a week and a half. From
Nah, I know you guys.
Graduating college.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
nah,
shit
well, you got
crazy.
to tell me because I know you, boy, since middle school,
nah,
and
man.
I know you.
Listen,
So you got to tell me because I want to hear this.
look, the way he explained it sounds great. I respect it. I respect it.
Right.
Nah, but like for me, parenthood was like completely different because it was just like kind of the same situation, but this is like right after high school. So it was just like for me, it was just like I didn't really have like a plan. So it was just like I remember the girl I was messing with at the time. We didn't really know each other. So it was just like she hit me up and she was just like, I'm pregnant. I know I'm pregnant. And I'm just like, nah. Like,
You said
that was
nah.
like my first thing was just like, nah. Like it was just like,
Ain't no way.
ain't no way.
What does now mean? What does now? What does that
Like
mean?
No
for me,
way.
it was like I was just done with high school.
Right.
Like right now, I'm trying to leave to go to college. I
Right.
didn't want to stay in South Florida, especially at like the time I was doing a lot of things.
Right.
I was being influenced by a lot of like street things. So like when she met me, it was like the way that I was moving. It was
Yeah.
just like
Ain't no way you pregnant.
everybody
baby girl.
that's down here. Like I was like a hustler / dope boy / nerd.
right.
So
Oh, wow.
I'm like in everything. I'm like everywhere you want to be and nowhere you don't want to be. Like I was like so when she was like I'm pregnant, I'm like I'm 19. I'm like hell no, I don't want no kid. Like it was like one of those things. Like for me, it was just like that pressure was like it was something else. Like even till the day like when my kid was born, like I still didn't look at it like, oh, I'm a father. Like I looked at it like I've been around my little brothers and little sisters
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I
Kind of
looked
gave you
at
that same feeling.
yeah, I looked at him like as a friend, like somebody I'm babysitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and she was like I remember like before she even had the kid, she was like watching like this is like early 2000s, so she's watching like The Fabulous Life of Such and Such on MTV. That's when it was like Cribs was big.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And like I remember like before she even had the kid one time, we got into a big ass argument. I'm like a freshman in college. And she's on the phone telling me like she wants like a Gucci stroller because of the fabulous life of like J-Lo or something crazy.
Right.
And I blew up because I'm like, yo, I just finessed financial aid lying about books that I ain't about to buy just so I could pay my rent and get food. And you trying to buy a
Gucci stroller.
$1,600 Gucci stroller.
Wow.
Damn.
I blew up man, all the like I was young. I didn't really have like my mom, like how you said like your mom was supportive. Like my
Yes.
mom had to play both roles. She wasn't excited, but she wasn't upset. She sat me down and she was just like, this ain't about to mess up your plans. And so I looked at her like, you're right. I don't want this to mess up our plans. Like, yo, you've been busting my ass since day one. Like,
what
I
we
don't.
about to do, Mom?
Right. Like, I don't even want to graduate high school. Like, you've been pushing me.
Yeah.
So she
Damn.
was like general, and it was just like, yo, that messed up my relationship with the first mother of my kid. And like them two, they got into it so bad. Like that was like one of those things that made me understand like I was raised by women and I don't have male guidance. Like the first mother of my kid, I don't want to say baby mom because it sounds derogatory.
Please,
Right.
I really don't
Right.
like it. Yeah.
But the first mother of my kid, her and my mom got into a feud about who had control over me so much.
Ooh.
Like I instantly looked at it like one of the funniest things I've ever heard is two dogs fighting over a bone in a dinosaur museum. It's bones all over the place.
Right.
But when two dogs decide that's my bone, they gonna tear each other apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was the bone. Like
Yeah.
they were arguing about who has control over my life, and I'm looking at both of them like, I technically do what I want. Like y'all spoiled. Like my mom spoiled me.
Yeah.
My first baby mom, she spoiled me in the sense of like she told me things that women shouldn't like loyalty. Like that was her big thing was loyalty. At the time I was a young dude. I
You ain't
didn't
know
know what
nothing
that
about
mean. I didn't
loyalty.
care. I was like
Yeah.
a dog is loyal. Like who cares? I'm a cheat.
Yeah.
I lived man. I
And
just,
it's not like you had a male
bruh,
guidance.
I didn't have a male guidance
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yo, you need to care about feelings,
Right,
babies.
right,
I'm
right.
like, baby, like I'm still a kid.
Yeah. At 19,
I'm
yeah.
still like, yo, I was looking at the situation like what that mean? Like I go to work sometimes and sometimes I hustle.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm around ratchets that's doing ratchet stuff and I'm like, I want me to babysit a kid?
Yeah, because it's yours, bro.
Yeah, at 20?
It's yours.
With Jeezy and T.I., the two hottest niggas on the radio in South Florida? They just shut down Freaknik and now Memorial Day is the new thing?
Yeah. I remember those times.
So wait.
man.
So,
Like,
so when you found out you was gonna be a dad, you became a dad. You was still you.
Dog,
Yeah.
it's like for me, it was like I'm literally in conversations where it's like I'm chilling with a homie that's like, yo, I'm gonna put a TV in my gas tank. Another homie's like, yo, I'm gonna put a TV in the rims. Another homie like, yo, I'm gonna put a TV in the grill. And that's South Florida
That
at
was
the time.
excitement.
And it's just like, I'm sitting here where it's just like, the dudes I'm kicking it with is like, oh yeah, bro, like, you supposed to have 3. The mother of my kid, her number one argument was like, yo, claim me as your main. So the other shorties know, like, I'm your main, but that's my main. I get a main, a side chick, and a freak.
Wow.
That was like street, like regular. That wasn't like you did
Boy,
anything
I don't know.
regular, bro.
I don't know what street that was, boy. Cause I know. Shit, boy. Look here. Hey, more power to you, brother.
That's like on some straight up like Miami, like Miami.
No, I think it depends on the girl though. Cause I say, boy, look here.
Look, it's to say, this is pre-social media, social media,
Okay.
baby days.
MySpace, right?
This is
No, this ain't even
is-
MySpace yet.
This is
MySpace.
MySpace is coming out, but Black Planet already
Okay,
exists.
yeah. I remember.
And then Black Planet is just like a remnants of like telephone, like, bro, like.
Okay, so this is my question.
No, you don't get to ask the question. Cause you gotta answer the. You gotta
I
answer the
do,
question.
But while he's going on, I'm just
Oh.
trying to understand at what point did the parenting click in?
The
for you?
parenting clicked. It clicked in like it was a situation where it was just like for me it was just like it was like a life or death situation,
Okay.
and it was just like again I was raised by women, so there's a level of like narcissism that I wasn't aware of. Like I could speak on it now because it's just like on some just play stuff. Like I have access to my full adult brain.
Right.
So looking back at it right now, it's real funny.
Right.
But it was just like at the time, it was just like as things were happening, like I said, when my kid came about, like it was just like, oh snap, like
No, it's a kid.
it's a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I literally said that. I was just like, okay, it's a kid, and she was looking at me like it's your kid. Like
Right.
she knew what it meant.
Right.
But for you, it
In
didn't.
my world, it was just like, I'm like, I like literally what I was telling myself, honest. Like,
Oh, you didn't have no attachment.
not even that. Like at this point, I could go 10 times harder in the streets because now I got a remembrance of me. Because like again, not knowing
wow.
like in my brain, I wasn't even supposed to live to see 25.
Right.
Like growing up, y'all knew me. A lot of people was like, "Oh yeah, that dude right there, he wild." My older brother was like incarcerated for shooting a cop.
Right.
So my environment was already very active, like as far as like gang affiliation, as far as like you watching like young prostitution before anything even happened. Like it was like we literally lived in the neighborhoods where shorty braid hair, hoe, pimp her younger sisters and nieces, sell dope. Like that's the candy lady's daughter when she
Right.
ain't home. Like that's regular.
wow.
Like we
Okay.
immigrants being integrated into America with Black Americans that's been robbed.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can say that again.
My bad.
No. She just thinks she gonna get away. I want to hear your story.
Say the question again.
The same question everybody answered.
First kid.
When your first kid, what did it do to you? How did it change your mind? Your mentality?
My experience was different though. So my first kid, I was pregnant at 18, but I was in my second year of college. So I was already kind of very much independent, lived by myself, did everything for myself. So it was just like, oh, okay. And my daughter's dad, we were together since we were like 14, 15. So me being pregnant was no surprise to nobody. Everybody
Real
was just
love.
like,
They were
oh,
waiting.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it didn't. I don't think it. But kind of to your.
Do you think he felt the same way? Because it's like I said, it seems like women are ready for it. Like
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't want any kids. So I used to tell my mom all the time I wasn't having any kids because I always used to like babysit my cousins, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I never wanted any kids. me and my daughter's dad, we laughed about it years later because he's like, yeah, I got you pregnant on purpose type of thing. And I was like,
Wow, he set you up.
yeah. I was like, huh, okay.
Re-
But a
real
baby don't
dudes-
keep nobody.
Real men do real things.
A baby don't keep nobody. Y'all remember that? So, that was, it was what it was. But if I'm being honest, I don't feel like, so when I had my daughter, before I had my daughter, I was working like 3 jobs, right? I was working 3 jobs. I was in college, and I was trying to figure out my life. And only thing I can say, I guess, like after having her, she kind of set everything in motion for me to have the career I have now, because I knew I had to be able to provide. But outside of providing, I mean, when I finally had her, I was like 18, 19. So, I mean, I still was I was a Miami girl.
Yeah, but how did it? So you trying to tell me it didn't have no effect on you?
At
Like
that time, no.
maturity or nothing?
I feel like I was already at that level of maturity. So, like when I reflect back, and me and my daughter talk a lot now because she's about to be 14. So we talk a lot now, and it's like the shit I did when she was young. I'm like, bro, I would never do that shit now. Like with my son, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and we talk about it because I'm like, I tell her all the time, I'm like, bro, I know I probably caused you so much trauma because I was only 18, 19. I didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So it was some. It was
stuff.
things.
Wow,
And
stuff. Wow.
I think I was more or less like, I won't say I was in the streets or nothing like that, but back then, I was always fighting. Like I was always in shit.
You
and
were pull up.
that baby was in the back seat.
You was
I'm
the pull up queen.
So,
Pull up.
me and my daughter laugh about that a lot. Like, there's been fights that she was there. Like, and it's crazy because it shows how you can affect someone's mental, right?
Yeah.
Because back then you would think a baby would cry or be upset, and my daughter used to laugh, like think it was like I'm beating a bitch ass, and she think it's just the funniest thing. She got commentary for days. As mommy, you remember when?
Wow.
Like it was just funny to her.
Yeah.
But like as an adult, I'm looking back, I'm like, bitch, that's trauma. Like I should have never did that shit.
But to you, not to her though. She
But
don't
to
do that,
her,
right?
for her life, like
Hilarious.
it's just normal, you know. Like that's just my mom. But I was young, you know, and so like now I have my son, and I'm like, oh hell no, I would never do no shit like that. Like, so that's the only difference though. But as far as like mentality wise, I feel like at the time where I had my daughter, I was already pretty much mature. I was living by myself. I already had my own shit going on.
That's really nice, man.
He was
Y'all-
basically
'cause-
just trying to live.
So it's
I was an adult. Like I just was doing my thing.
y'all was just
I
wilding.
stopped working 3 jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
I got a baby now.
So y'all was just wilding out. I didn't have that, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
How was your experience?
Mine was I would say God saved me with mine.
See?
It made me a way better person.
As it should.
Man,
Supposed to.
you talking about Wheezy out, man. Everybody talking about getting that money. That last young kid. You know, the dreadlocks hanging.
Oh,
The
yeah.
grills is shining. The chain is blanket. What? You talking about getting some money? We gonna get to the money. You know what I mean? But me and her, we talked about having a child. We was like, because, you know, all her cousins had kids. So she was like, you know, man, I would love to have a kid. I said, man, I think I would love to have a kid too. We were just talking, you know. But it just so
Didn't
happened.
happen.
And she like, I'm pregnant, man.
I think that's like a good thing because you was with somebody that you knew.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, I was
Yeah.
I was with her since we was like in 11th grade. So this happened when I was like maybe 22 years old.
See?
But at least you guys talked about it, kind of had a
Yeah,
agreement,
22.
Same page.
Well, yeah, you know, I said, you know, I would love to have a
Yeah,
kid.
like-
So you
'Cause-
guys planned it.
No, well, I didn't say. Well, you know,
Somewhat.
well, for me, the main thing was for me. I didn't have a father, so I always knew if when I have a child, like whoever I have the child with, I'm gonna make sure that's the person I want to be with. Because I didn't want to have. At
Kids
first,
with-
I wanted to have as many kids as I could. I was like you. I say, bro, if anything happens, I got somebody to carry on to my last
Definitely.
name.
Your last
But
name.
as I got older and I started thinking about, damn, but I don't want my child to feel what I felt. So I said, whenever I get a child, it's gonna be with one girl and one girl only.
I'm gonna say on that, like I think I don't want to get like too percentage based, but like when I say like every time I speak to most males kind of say the same thing. Like especially like if they come from a single parent situation, they all have that. I know what it's like, so
Yeah.
I want to be a part
Yeah.
of my kid's
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Most of them do.
But in the sense of like when like how like you knew, like it's like y'all talked about it, it's like okay, kid is on the way, you knew you had to change.
Yeah.
Where I think every dude has that
No,
snap.
I didn't know I had to change. No, like don't get it twisted.
Right.
I knew that I said, yeah,
You figured it out
I would
later.
not mind having a kid
Right.
with you because I'm gonna be with you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So we agree with it, but I didn't know it was gonna make me do a one. Don't get
Right.
it wrong now.
See that part. That's the part where I feel like dudes don't have the like I want to do a 360, but dudes have that I want to be in my kid's
I
life.
want to be better.
Right.
But it's just like, yo, when you make that statement, and especially in my situation, like I feel like I wanted to be there, but then when you realize who the mother of your kid is, and like how she met me, like when she met me, I was in the trenches. So the type of person she expected me to be, when
was
like
not realistic.
Like it was just like, oh, I'm having a kid, and it's like
Change.
it woke me up. Like, okay, like I don't know no criminals with a retirement plan. I don't know no criminals who's not dead or in jail. And I was just like, okay, I got this kid on the way. Like, which
What am I gonna do?
like I never even thought about no stuff like that. So it was just like, okay, I got this kid on the way. I see how his mom acts. She like dope boys. She like hustlers. I'm a dope boy. I'm a hustler. But if something happened to me,
What's gonna
she's gonna
happen?
replace me with another dope boy, another hustler, and I know he gonna pimp my kid.
No, see, I didn't.
That was the thought I
see,
had.
See, one thing about me, bro, like
That's kind of scary, though.
I didn't
Right.
ever.
But that's what kind of made me kind of like, it's not say straighten up. Like, it's just like I looked at the situation when she was starting to act up. Like, I was just like I just remember like once, like as she's telling me about the Gucci baby stroller, and like I'm sitting there like, yeah, you telling me because you know I can make it happen.
Right.
But what I got to do to make it happen could put me somewhere where now this don't even make sense.
Yeah.
So that was your main girl.
Yeah, and
Nah,
that's
nah,
where it was. But that's what
That's crazy.
it's to say the type of life I was living, and the type of women that I was attracted to. It's like that's what it is. Just like people hear the statements of like a ghetto princess.
Yeah.
Like she
But they
in the
exist.
hood,
They exist.
I
but
never.
she a diamond piece.
I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. Like for me, I never find those attractive. Yeah, you something for me to hit on.
It's not to even hit
but
on. It's to
when I-
say you could get it. It's
yeah,
like,
but
it's
that's what I
that
mean.
thing
That's
that-
what I mean. I hit,
Right.
but hell no. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I knew we were poor, but I knew I'm not gonna be poor. And I knew one thing about it. If you was from that environment and you didn't really kind of understand where we could take this, you was not gonna be nowhere part of my life at all, bro. Listen, bro. I'm sorry. Every girl I've ever dealt with, bro, I gave him an alias, and then when they bumped it, I said, "Oh, he died." That was my twin brother.
Oh my.
No lie, bro.
gosh,
Real
bro.
men do real things.
Me and Oye, dog. You remember Oye?
Yeah.
Listen, bro. But when me and my girl got together, and I was her friend, and I was like, okay, like she get it. But I never knew I was gonna change, bro. I just said, okay, I could be with her. Like I could see me being married to her.
Aren't you happy that that's who you had a baby with?
Am I happy?
Blessed.
Shit. Let me tell you.
Lucky.
When I saw that baby, when that baby came out, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at everything, and it's like I get to hold her, and then I'm looking at her, she's smiling back at me, and I'm like, all that, whatever I was doing, whatever I was getting, man, I woke up one day, I just bagged up, put everything in a trash bag, called my homeboys up, hey man, come here, I'm gonna meet
Wholesale.
y'all. No, here, bro.
Cool.
Here.
Giveaway.
Have fun. Yeah, like what you do. I went to the barber, cut my hair off. I did no more goals, no more. Man, I'm dwat like an igloo.
That
dog.
don't happen all the time.
See, I respect it,
I do
but
too.
it's like I had to go through a whole
Yeah. How about I say, 'cause
concentration.
that don't
I had to
happen
go
all the
to the
time.
military. I like for me.
No, but you needed the military,
yeah,
though,
they had
bro.
to break that out
No,
of me.
you needed the
Yeah,
military,
like,
dog.
it's like
you
I
was
said,
unruly, dog. You was very unruly,
Look,
dog.
for me, it
No,
was
no,
like
he was
one of the-
unruly.
like
He was
I looked
unruly.
at the kid and I was just like, oh yeah, I want to be a part of his life. I want to help him, but I knew staying down here, I couldn't do it.
Right.
So that's where it's like the
So you
military.
become a product of your environment.
Yeah, and
For
that's,
sure.
that's the thing. It's like it's to say product of the environment, but I love the environment.
Of course, a product of your environment. That's exactly
It's
what
like-
a product of your
it's
environment
like, it's
is.
a heartbeat. Like that's where it's like
I don't think it was. I think Jackson came out like that. Cause dog, we used to be in class, bro. I'm talking about
Traumas, man.
7th grade.
That's those
It ain't no
traumas, man.
traumas, dog. He came out like that,
Listen.
dog.
Look.
Whatever DNA he mixed with
Listen.
all together,
Right.
they created this nigga right, this dude right
I
here.
always say though, you was always quiet.
Quiet?
Yeah.
Hell
No.
no.
I mean, the Jackson, I
Hell
know
no.
was quiet.
Bro.
Quiet, but you know what I'm saying? But
What
wait.
grade you met Jackson in?
I met Jackson in middle school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met Jackson in middle school. We was in class together.
Right.
And I'm sitting there minding my business, bro. Just minding my business. I'm sitting there. I don't really care what's going on.
Right.
I'm just sitting there. I think you was behind me, right? The nigga, he started beating on the desk. Start rapping. I'm like, oh. He said, hey, man, let me tell you something about this life, man. See all this shit we learning? Fuck that shit, man. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah. He said, let me tell you. She gonna be a hoe. He gonna be a hoe. He going to jail. He gonna die. We gonna die. He said, you might as well, remember?
Yeah.
He said, you might as well live your life, man, and do you. This is all bullshit, man. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, where you getting this?
Yeah, man.
So, again, listen. All right. So it's like a lot of things that is just like, for me, it's like it came natural. I don't like, it's not like I was trying to be disrespectful, but it's just like once you figure out the game, it's just like, oh snap, like they don't know, they scared. And then it's just like they're not scared because the information ain't there. They're scared of losing power. They're scared of losing respect.
The mic.
So it's like, as a kid, it was just like where I came from, it was like knowledge was respected.
Right.
But it's like it was knowledge, it was information. It was just like always trying to sharpen yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's like we make the transition from the islands to the States, where it's just like in the States, popularity became important.
Yep.
Status is more important. Information is in the background.
Yeah.
But if you're an information junkie and it's just like you understand how things work, it's like it's not that you look at things as magic. You look at things as how it's actually done.
Right.
It's just like I was raised religious and I was raised spiritual.
Right.
So it's just like whether religion is true, whether spirituality is true, is like through religion, you learn that they don't like magic. And then it was just like, okay, for me, it's just like, I don't know not to dislike something because you say it, and I don't know to fear it because it looks cool. But it's just like, when you look into magic, it's always a way they do the trick. It's a trick. Nothing ever really changes. So it's just like, even when you look into magic and you look into spirituality, when you look at things in the spirituality and you like, why does that happen? It can be explained mathematically. So it's just like my transition from understanding information and loving information, it stayed like that.
Okay.
So when I came to the States, it was just like the States was just like, you know, we were very wise, but we weren't educated and structured. So it was just like I learned how to live life, and then it's just like being Americanized just taught me the elements of life.
Got it.
So it's just like when I'm looking at things like education for me is just like, oh, you're teaching me towards a test. The test is important. Why is the test important? Because these people say it's important. Why is it say important? Because 10 years down the line, we want y'all to be truck drivers. We want y'all to be bankers. We want y'all to be such and such.
And this is the shit that he was saying to me in the back of the truck.
I'm telling you,
no, I'm serious,
yeah,
bro.
like, yo,
Bro,
we're 13, 14
bro,
years old, and I'm explaining
this
this shit.
nigga that I'm in the back of the class. Remind you, dog.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I'm just sitting
Right.
there. We sitting there. He's like, man, he just wants us to pass this test, man.
Right.
He said, man,
Hey.
you think they give a fuck about us? Listen, I'm gonna pass this test, get an A or B.
Hey, you
that ain't
sound
gonna
like-
change.
hey,
That ain't gonna change my life. Like that was his thinking from when
Hey,
we was
you
in
sound
middle
like one of
school.
those 5%ers, man.
Right.
5%ers.
Remember 5%?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, when
man.
I talk to those dudes, they be like,
that's-
"Oh, you one of us," but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
you
for
sound
me, it's just like
Right.
the
It's natural,
idea-
dog.
It makes sense.
Right.
So it's just like for me, it's just like when I look at males and females, it's just like when it comes down to the nitty gritty, it's just like it's a courtship thing. It's just a funny game that we learn how to play, like takeaway, but we all like it on different
In some
aspects.
way.
So it was just like he'll tell you from the time we was jits, I was on some freak life.
Oh yeah.
Because it was just like, for me, it was just like, wait, so the name of the game is smashing?
Yeah.
And it was just
For
like,
you guys,
shorties like dudes, they're all nervous, and they want somebody to feel comfortable with to do some wild shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, through that, we create this whole crazy kid. Like, it's just like, I tell people, I like being a nerd, but I don't like nerds because information should be shared.
Right.
When I see people hoard information and try to make it seem like they know something that you don't know, it's not to say that you don't know it. He can learn it.
Right.
So when you seeing people hoard information and using that as a way to
That's the
feel
worst.
better
Empowered,
about themselves, to make
Over-
advancements, like especially amongst dudes, when you seeing it to make advancement towards females,
Gatekeeping.
and you looking at a dude like, man, stop playing, bro. Like, yo, like, we all want to get these females. We all want access to women and stuff like that. But it's like if you're using information as like your key, I can't allow that.
Right.
Let me ask you
I
this, bro.
can't allow that.
Let me ask you this, bro. With all the information that you've gathered over the years, bro, and hindsight wise and everything, bro, and your first kid, anything you wish you could have done differently when you found out you was having a kid, bro?
The only thing I wish, like, so I'm glad you asked that. Like, the only thing I wish I could have did differently, like, I wish I could have been like, at that point, like, especially like knowing, like, hindsight is very bad because it's like in hindsight you get like me and the first mother of my kid, we grew up together. Like to where we at now, and it's just like, especially looking back at the type of person I was, I wish I could have protected her more from my mom, especially like with that Caribbean women thing. It's very visceral. I didn't know. Like my mom was protecting me, but really cutting her up.
So they used to clash a lot. Okay.
I told you, I was the bone. They were the dogs. Like I like it.
What was your mom protecting you from?
My mom was protecting me from a lot of responsibilities that she knew I wasn't ready for. And she knew
She was being a mom.
right. And she knew women, like especially Haitian women, they're like geared for all that. And I was like, for me, like I said, I was still a kid.
Was you her baby? You the last child?
I'm the second to last.
Okay.
But like
Some moms, they don't even
like
matter.
my older brother, my older brother is me on steroids with a lot of violence. He's just as smart, but his whole thing is, it's like if he could take advantage of a situation, he does it with such dominance. It's just like any like kickback. It's like he doesn't want, like, for him, like if things make sense, the fact that you're trying to dispute it is that you just enjoy the violence. And he's gonna enjoy it with you. Our birthdays are 2 days apart. Like we're both ride or die type personalities. Like our whole thing is like, oh yeah, if you throw a bottle, we right there. We with it.
What's your zodiac?
We're Aries. I'm an Aries. So it's just like we
Birthday just passed.
Yeah.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
Because it's Taurus season, baby. Sorry. But
One-
carry on.
One of my baby mamas is Taurus.
She's probably the best one you got. Keep going.
So
We'll talk
let
about
me
it
ask you
later.
this. Let me ask you this though, Jay. So how many kids do you have?
Like so
Did you
in,
say like?
in a total of like what I'm aware of, it's
So what's your
What's the number, brother?
What's the number?
it's 7.
Okay.
It's 7 biological, 2 adopted, and
Okay.
there's 2
Possibilities?
possibles that I know of, and then it's just like once you add the international whole thing, it's just like it was international, bro.
Wow.
Like we don't.
Yeah,
A
because
wonderful life.
Yeah.
Wonderful life lived.
Yeah,
For sure.
It was wonderful, huh?
Yeah, listen.
Oh, he said
Spreading
yeah.
the seeds.
Listen, if it wasn't for the financial stress, like I'm somebody, it's like I love kids, I love it, I love creating. It's just like it's the financial and economical burden that they just put on having a kid. Like they make it so financially like discombobulated to have a kid that is just like, even if you care about somebody, you literally have to take so many things into consideration to procreate with them.
Oh yeah.
There's positives and negatives to that, but in the sense of like, yo, people using kids as a weapon, like that's crazy.
But that's the modern day way of doing it. A lot of people doing it out of spite.
sorry.
But you know,
Insanity.
one thing I will say, man, like everybody's story is different. Everybody had a different experience. But one thing that we can all agree on, man, like once you have kids, it's really no longer about you anymore. It's about that child and trying to provide the best possible life and future for them. Like I say, for me, man, there's nothing I won't do for my babies. I love them. I do anything for them. I do anything to make them smile. You know what I'm saying? I do my best to provide a good atmosphere for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to the best schools as possible. You know, a good area to grow up in. They don't have to feel what I felt growing up. You know, they never got experience what I experienced.
Right.
You know, mom and dad is there. Mom and dad together.
Yeah. They have no excuse.
They have no excuses, and I don't want to give them any excuses because I want them to be better than I am.
My job, honestly, is to play devil advocate to that. Not because it's especially like reading books and messing around with folks that like get into kids and stuff like that. Like we say, like you want to create a situation better than your situation was, but at the same time, it's just like by doing that, you're like depriving them from their own experiences.
No, they're having their own experiences, just different from mine.
No, true.
From my upbringing.
True.
Theirs is better than mine.
Different environment.
But
Yeah.
see, it's that statement. Theirs
It's
theirs
better
is
than
better
yours.
than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to apologize to my son for having social media and having a smartphone, because I grew up in the era where it was just like when technology is being introduced, and especially how technology took off for us. Like when I look at a smartphone, that's like every cartoon that I've watched where it's like human beings crash land on an alien planet and they have some type of device on their wrist or on their suit. They double tap and they say, "Tell me the environment." It scans the environment and it tells them there's all these creatures. This rock is this. This is the air that you can breathe without. That's what I look at like when I'm like, you got a smartphone. When my son was like he got introduced to smartphone and that technology, but from the time he was 7.
Yeah.
And I'm in California, I'm going to TED Talks and stuff like that, and they're telling you like the dangers of social media and smart technology to infants, but they're also telling you the cons. If you don't introduce them to this is why you don't understand their math. They're giving them freaking like programming math in
You don't know
4th
what's
grade.
going on.
You're coming home, your kid. I'm like, wait, if 5 is 4 and 7 red marbles are blue, I'm like, what you're 5. You're in the 5th grade.
But
What the hell
everybody
is
else in the
this?
class understands.
So you had to comprehend that. So it was just like, you go from that type of mind frame, and it's just like while you're sitting there watching your kid, I'm like, I'm mad at him because I'm like, you got a smartphone. Like, why are you using a smartphone to do dumb stuff? And I'm grilling this kid for like a year and a half.
Can't do that though.
I had to catch myself.
do that,
I didn't know.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I didn't know because I'm looking at the situation
From your
as
point of view, you can't
I'm
do
looking
that.
at it as you got it better
Yeah.
than me.
Right.
I don't mean
not
that.
the
That's
same.
not the sense I mean in
Yeah,
it, bro. That you looking at from that sense.
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm saying.
I'm talking
I
about,
got caught up in that.
No, I'm talking about environment, bro.
Environment.
Yeah.
I'm just strictly environment. I don't impose anything on my children
Alright,
as
well.
far as what they supposed to be doing, as far how far they thinking should. I don't do that. That's for you to figure. I'll give you the understanding, the
tools,
knowledge
yeah.
that you need. You know what I'm saying? You come to me, we'll discuss it. But as far as environment, I'm gonna make sure you can. If you want to spread your wings and fly, you can do that. I'm gonna give you everything I never got plus more.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna spoil you to the point where you can't make it on your own.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna give you everything that you need, and anything extra you gotta earn. So I gotta tell people, man, when you have kids, don't just give them stuff just because you love them and they're, oh, that's my. No, you gotta earn everything you get. And if you're a new father, you're a young kid, you about to have a child, congratulations. But you gotta switch up whatever wrongs you're doing. You gotta stop them. You gotta just leave it alone, bro. Focus on that child. And put all your effort into that child, because that's the future, bro. Yeah. That is your future. That's your heirloom right there. That's your legacy. Protect your legacy, man. You know what I'm saying? And water it and watch it grow. It's gonna make you proud.
Definitely.
Once again, yeah, man, this is our show for the day. We love and appreciate y'all. Please remember to comment, right? Right, AJ? They got to comment.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
Like button.
Ding! That's what's happening when you hit the like button. It's going to go ding. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. We appreciate and love y'all as always. Thank you for joining us. Change tomorrow today. Peace.
Bless.
Yes, Lord.